This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so it's 7:03 on Wednesday, May 10th, not Thursday, May 11th. I thought Wednesday was May 11th, but we got it right this time. We have a quorum. Rebecca, Elaine, Karen, Joan, and Kathy are all here. Joy called me less than a half an hour ago to say that they had a rush meeting with a client, and so she wasn't going to be able to make it even though she planned to. So I will call the meeting to order.
Could I, just, okay, Rebecca, me, Karen Ann,
Joan
oh, Joan's online.
Yep. and Kathy's online.
Thank you.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is review the minutes of April 12th. What do you have access to on this one? How are you signed in?
I signed in just through the Zoom, so
Okay, so you have the agenda. Do you have the minutes and the directors?
I have them.
Yeah, you have them printed out. Do you have them on here?
April 12th, we didn't conduct any actual business. It was really a precursor to the meeting of the 17th. This was the minutes of the 12th
Okay.
that I,
So Elaine's minute says that lacking a quorum and no Zoom, those in attendance decided we should update some timely information that required no action. The reason we had no Zoom is because it was supposed to go through the town and the town did not set it up and no one answered the phone. Okay, so we then had a meeting on April 17th to make up for that.
I get you your printed copy.
No problem.
And then
Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from April 17th?
I just wanted to make a correction there, because it will make a difference with what we did.
Okay, so the minutes from April 17th have a correction that there was a motion. Joan moves to put 50K into a CD at Berkshire Bank for 6 months, 10K of it from one account, 20K from a second account, 20 from a third account. Joy seconded. Kathy affirms that the monies are in the same ratio as the CD. Hope says the previous 19K was from operational savings. That is a mistake. It was supposed to be 20K. Then the motion was amended to put 50K into Berkshire Bank at not lower than 4.5.
Meeting down there.
Okay.
So are we voting on amended minutes or approving?
We would have to vote on the amended minutes.
what are we changing? I'm looking at my original notes. now.
The Hope said that the previous 19,000 and it was actually 20,000.
Yeah.
And then on the interest,
Was from operational savings? Is that what we're,
Yes.
I had the previous 10K.
Okay, well, the written ones show oops, wrong screen.
These are my original notes.
Okay.
My husband's my secretary, so that's
Oh, yeah.
Okay, which one of
why
these
I'm
is the,
looking at this
well,
and
that's right, something, and even with,
Okay.
interest.
I posted it, so everybody should be able to see it. So it is down at the bottom where it says 50K to put into a CD Berkshire Bank. There are two corrections on that. One is that 19K should have been 20K. And the other one is that it says not lower than 4.5% interest, but at the meeting, what was said was 3.5% interest. Okay.
What did I write
That's what
down?
I'm looking at.
So to be clear, these were just secretary
addition-
errors. They weren't actual
addition.
changes in content.
No, Elaine and Deb are just looking at Elaine's original notes right now.
I see.
We think it's just
Yeah.
the way they got typed up.
I got it, okay.
Not 4.5, because the one that was existing is 4.75,
7.5.
and,
I remembered our bottom being 4.
okay, I had in my
That's right.
notes 3.5.
Oh, you did.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's
there,
what-
there seems to be some agreement. Elaine said her notes said 4. Deb says her notes say 3.5.
And the problem being that we got it for 4, so if you say not below 4.5, I think we're in trouble then. I don't know.
Well, I think we couldn't assume an
We talked
interest
about it
rate.
was, we weren't sure if we were gonna, it was 2.5 months later, so we weren't sure that we could get it
Right.
at 4.75, and when we went to, it did go down to 4.0. But that's why this is saying not to go below 4.5.
Okay, so change the 19K to 20. So any other comments on the minutes? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I'll move, so.
Yes, Joan?
I was just gonna say, I'll move that if you need somebody to make the motion.
Okay, so Joan will make a motion to accept the minutes as amended from the April 17th meeting. Any discussion? Oh, and I need a second. I'll second. Karen Ann will second. Any discussion?
Are you changing it to 3.5?
We're changing that to 3.5. Okay. If there's no discussion, April 17th as amended, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, Elaine, Karen Ann, Joan and Kathy say aye. Any nays? Kathy, are you saying nay?
No, I said aye. I said
Yes.
aye. Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any abstain? Okay, thank you. Any abstentions? Rebecca is abstaining because she was not at the last
Kathy
meeting.
is on.
Kathy is aye, yes.
Take those minutes back.
I don't have them anymore.
No, I'm sorry, this one.
Oh, that one, yes, sorry, I did have them still. Okay, director's report.
Oh, treasurer's report.
Oh, treasurer's report, yes. Looking,
Need? Yeah.
I'm looking,
No problem.
trying to figure out which one of these is the treasurer's report. Do you know which one's the treasurer's report?
Probably none of those. because I-
Yeah.
Okay, well, we could pull it up through Gmail or wherever it was sent to.
There we go.
Okay, so there is the treasurer's report. Rebecca?
Alright, we had a beginning balance of $112,221.05. For revenues, we had $3,062.77, and for expenses, we had $17,321.03, leaving us with an ending balance of $97,962.79. And I'm sorry, I formatted that wrong.
No, that's fine. Looks fine to me. Okay, we don't need to have a motion to accept the monthly treasurer's report, but I have a question.
Mhm.
If we have an ending balance right now of over $97,000 and there's only 2 months left in the fiscal year, how much money are we going to have left over that we have to justify to the town?
I think we might be good because we had a lot of big stuff coming out and that's going to come out. Like we have the HVAC in, we have the plumber in, so we still have quite a few big bills along with, you know, payroll and everything else. So we're doing our very best. Even right now, like the credit card date not expires, but tomorrow's the last date to order on the credit card for this fiscal year. So we're really looking at that line items and trying to get, and some are over, like our building maintenance is quite a bit over, office supplies is over, so.
Okay, well, payroll is usually only
under, I
about
should say.
$10,000 a month. So payroll's only going to take us down to 76,000. Even if we assume that the May expenses and the June expenses will be similar to the April expenses, that's still only 34 to 35, so that's still leaving over $60,000. Do you have $60,000 worth of bills? Yes.
Yes, I do. Well, that was the next thing, like Deb and I made finalizing these numbers a priority for today. So that's actually the next thing we're going to work on is I have whatever's left over or under in line items, and then we're taking those and spending what's left of what we have to spend. So that's our next.
We have a lot of stuff that's just kind of finished or is going to be done. We haven't gotten those.
Yeah, and
Rebecca,
it's,
is there an actual word for that other than leftovers?
Please, please.
Unassigned.
Yeah, or unassigned works, or, I don't.
Unassigned money, I mean, not, you know what I mean, money that hasn't been,
Earmarked.
targeted for something.
We're just not paid out yet.
yeah.
Okay, so has everybody seen the budget paper? Did you email these?
Yep.
Okay, Hope says she emailed them. So, Hope, Deb, if you want to talk about something, explain this to us.
Let me go back so we can bring it over. That's
Is there only one page to this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
front and back, stupid me. Okay,
You had enough of your end now. You're trouble.
Who else is here?
Joan and Kathy. That was a male voice, so I don't know exactly.
I thought when you were reading, you said something about a bill. Did I hear a bill?
No, Bill is Joan's husband. He
Yeah.
was turning on the computer for her.
Okay, since this is the laptop that hasn't got all configured, I can't pull it up because there's no Excel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, Joan, Kathy, do you know what we're talking about here, the budget
But we
request
can
paper?
bring it up on the director's report because I did
Yeah.
add.
I mean, I printed mine out and I could also look at mine through my email. But
Yep,
it would be
it-
nice to
Here we
direct us to columns as appropriate, cells.
Okay,
Yeah, those are literally every single change we made.
okay, but we weren't getting to that quite yet. We were still talking about the 60,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, it's fine, but we still need to find out what is outstanding and what we're gonna do so that, because you know the crap we get about having $25,000 that they said was extra at the end of the year. If we have 60,000 at the end of the year, they're really going to give us a hard time. So do you guys have any idea how many outstanding bills you have?
I do, but what the totals will be, we don't know at this moment. We have finally gotten people who last year were supposed to do the work, but never got to it for a number of different reasons. For example, we do have a commitment from the electrician who's going to come and do the changing out and adding of the security cameras. We also have him, we have 17 lights that are out in the children's room, which he now is, that's tacked on to that cost.
What are the lights in the children's room? Are they more like
They're-
these guys that are super expensive?
No.
No.
They're regular fluorescent bulbs, but they're out, and now we have to replace, we don't have the same bulbs anymore. So he's going to, and since there's only a third left that are lit, he's going to replace all of them. Our problem is every time, or as of lately, because of the age of the building and whatnot, the lights, obviously same as the building, our balances have been burning out. We ran into that problem and had to spend a lot of money 1 or 2 years ago during COVID. So we don't know what that's going to look like, but so he's going to do the security cameras and lights. Now we are going to have him replace all the lights in the children's library area. And we're not going to be surprised if a lot of those lights, it's not just the bulb now, but the balances, because that's exactly what's happened in every other part of the library.
And those
And
are super
that's where it
expensive.
gets
That's where it
pricey,
gets
yeah.
really
And that's where
expensive.
it's gonna be.
Exactly.
The balances are very expensive.
Yeah.
We have all 3 of our faucets on the building are broken. One got damaged because of the ice jam when it was cold. We had one that has been leaking forever. It was inside the wall. We just came out to take care of that. That got replaced. He put an access panel in. The one outside the children's room is broken off. He's got to now replace that and make an access panel, which means he's going to have to remove shelving. So that's another major project under plumbing. So that's going to be getting done. We just had the D'Amico's electrical company out because when the town took down the light pole, the light never went back on. So what did he say the right word? Something happened, got damaged. Not just the lights burned out, something got damaged. So he's fixing that. And he also, there's a light that is across from the front of the building, which he's replacing the bulbs. Those bulbs are very expensive. So he's got to get a boom truck. He's going to come out and take care of that. So he was out to look at them. That's something that's still got to get finished. It's in the works. Who knows what that's going to
Is
cost?
there estimate?
No, it's something that had to get done. As a matter of fact, the one for this light, we did talk to Troy at Public Works, and he said to just charge him for that. Now we had a flood in the community room. Our very first heating unit in the unfinished part of the basement had broken down and it was leaking water. They were out this week. That is fixed, but there is an issue with we had to wait till spring. This is something that the money was all spoken about to a certain degree last year, but we did the heating because it was winter time and fixed those issues. Now we're taking care of the air conditioning units. There's 2 outside and there's 4 on the roof.
Right.
They are, the one outside was not working. There was a squirrel's nest in it. They did a
Big
lot of
one.
damage. Yeah, we got pictures, pretty
Yeah.
awesome. But so he's fixed that. One of them, the one that had the squirrel's nest it would take a lot of money to fix it, and it would cost almost as much money as it would to replace it. He is telling us that our units, both in the basement and on the roof and outside, have stood past the test of time. These are things that do not normally last this long, 10, 15 years. It's going on 17 years. He said for what it would take to fix them, he says it's going to cost, it'll cost you more.
Yeah.
So they are in the works right now. They've repaired as much as they can. We haven't seen a bill on that yet. They are going to give us quotes so we can look to the future with CIP and see what that's going to look like. He said he's fixed them, he should get some more time out of it. He doesn't think we should invest any money to fix one of them. It's, and the one up on the roof, one isn't working, or it's working, but on its last legs as well. But it would be in our staff room area.
Yeah.
So we will suffer for you. But so all this stuff, it's getting repaired because it was damaged, broken, should have.
So it
So
sounds
that's-
like
That's.
Yeah,
you will be
big tick-
spending your
Yeah,
money.
big ticket items are
Yeah.
coming and we let them know the end of the fiscal year and to plan to come out beforehand, like the plumber and the HVAC, have
Well,
made
that's
plans
just,
for
we were
that.
waiting on this stuff. Some, like I said,
Yeah.
that should have been done. Some now that, like even with HVAC, that air conditioning, that should have been done. But had to wait till springtime.
Yeah.
What am I missing, Hope?
Mm.
It was all major
Is it
stuff.
possible for there to be an itemized, kind of a checklist of these pending things, what's pending, what, anything that's received an estimate, things that are awaiting estimate, and, if there's things that have to be done by a certain time?
Well, we want everything to be done before June 30th so that we can have this budget to pay with it, because next year, we don't have money.
But we're 7 months from that, 7 weeks from that,
True.
June 30th. So,
I'm not sure the question.
well, the different, you can tick all these things off your brain of what needs to be done and where
We
and
just really need to.
what's involved.
No,
In
100%.
some cases, depending upon availability of stuff, because that's been a big problem in the last few years, just getting what you need.
Some people.
Um, There may have to be partial fixes.
Mhm.
In other words, you could fix certain of the ACs, but not all of the ACs if you can't get what you need to do them. And then there's also when somebody can supply an estimate, but
Well, that's just, they have done all the fixing of the ACs that they can. He's done that.
yeah,
And same.
2 outside and 4 on the roof.
Yes.
All basically,
Justin.
basically all need replacing.
Well, that's just it. He's done, we're up and running, and working and will. He's saying as far as anything additional, to do to it, when something starts to go, it's gonna be major.
Okay, but if
So
we
that's
have
where
a
the quotes
list
come
of
in.
what is pending,
Oh, yeah, we do.
the issues. And then when an estimate comes in for something, it could be added into the, inserted on the list. Because it seems we would have one more monthly meeting before June 30th. So I'm looking for some organization here that, and if this room gets filled with toxic smoke and we're all dead, nobody will know what needs to be done.
Well, everything,
I
I guess
believe you.
I'm feeling like you're thinking we haven't already done that. Like, we know what is, we
Well,
know what has to
if
get
there's,
done.
if there's a list that's already exists, that's great. Let's
Yeah.
just put it in the
I
packet.
think the difference is Elaine actually wants a written list
And that,
with estimates.
Well,
And if you've got them, could you send them to the
Well,
board?
that's just it. We haven't gotten any bills or whatever.
Right,
yet.
but
As
just
far as the
right,
estimate,
But
just
just to do the
quotes.
list. And then
And
maybe
it
a
was done.
status on it, it's awaiting, it's pending, what an estimate might, when you have an estimate, and I assume we're getting estimates before the work is done.
No. No, these are things that the people have always done our work. When it came to Action Air, as far as HVAC, that was something that we talked about last year. They're just now getting to it because it is the time of the year to do it. We have everybody that we have doing it, we have gotten estimates because it's something that when it comes up, those are the people who take care of it. Same thing like with the light pole, whatever, like that wasn't expected. To give us an estimate, we just needed to have it done. So what would come is not the estimate, but a bill that will need to get paid. It's not as if it's something we were thinking about and, you know, what we'll do when we have the money. It's something that needed to get done, so we're doing it, you know, to spend the money.
Okay, well, depending upon the size of the item, I think the town procedure is basically, if it's over a certain amount, it goes to, you get bids. At least, you know, and then you decide based on that, which may be the previous people who have, and I don't know what, I'm not sure what the town dollar figure is. And I don't know if there's any dollar figure that exists here as far as,
Well, I know CIP, it has to, if it's CIP, it has to be $10,000 or more. That's what they deal with. Now, when it comes to getting quotes for replacing, for example, the HVAC equipment that we've been speaking about, that they said, you know, are on their last legs, that's what they're going to give us is a quote. Now, that could serve as one quote, and when the time comes, which isn't yet, then that probably would be the process, I would imagine, to get other quotes, much like we're doing, you know, with the children's retaining wall outside of their library area.
yeah, so if we want to get it done by June 30th, we would need to have similar bids coming in. So as soon as, and you know, bids, and do you have what's available? That's to me the big thing, because there's an awful lot of stuff you just can't get. I waited, you know, 5 months for a dishwasher.
Yeah, that's,
You know, and there was a and the town was supposed to have a truck delivered on a certain date, and then Ford canceled the contract.
well,
So-
we're being proactive. In the future will look like, that's nothing that has to get done right now. There's that, you know, they have, what we have
The
is
AC,
and up and running, yeah.
you want by June 30th.
Yeah, and it's
For
done, we're
the
just waiting
summer.
for the bill to come in. So in addition would be looking to the future, being proactive, being, doing our due diligence as far as, you know, taking care of, you know, maintaining something. Where they're saying that that's something that you've come to the end of the line as far as maintaining. The next wisest thing to do, figure-wise, money-wise, would be to look into the future as far as replacing these things and not keep putting money into things as they break down. Nothing's broken down, not like we're in good shape right now, but it was more or less what could come in time. So what we're looking for and waiting for is a quote for the future, because of what they're saying, how we would, and just bills for what did get done and that we're caught up on.
So hopefully before June 30th, I've got 3 faucets that are broken. Commitment from the electrician for the security cameras, the lights in the children's room, possibly replacing ballasts, but we don't know how much of that might be done. See, that's the thing. It's like, there's a lot of wild cards here. You know, there's 18 ballasts, 4 might need to be replaced. And, you know, we have some idea of how much per that would be. And then if you have a problem with money, it's like, where's the highest use? Where do we need what do we need to do first? Coming into this cold, which I'm doing, it seems overwhelming, and it seems like some sort of listing, and it can just have different, so at a pretty good glance, you can see how many things are pending, how many things we have estimates for, or how many things we're awaiting stuff for.
Yeah, Hope, you said you'd have that.
Yeah,
list. You could just
I-
send it to us.
Yeah, I have no
But
problem
it's all, yeah. it's
doing
all
that.
getting
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Okay, so would that be forthcoming then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, sort of a complete list of current and future fixes, projects.
Right, yeah.
We're excited, it's all finally getting done.
Huh?
I said, we're excited, it's all finally getting done.
Well, the other thing is if it comes down to where we're screeching in on the end of the fiscal year, and if all that information is right on a page, And it's like, okay, we've got X amount of dollars, where's the best way to spend that?
Yeah, definitely.
And then where you can compare it.
Yeah,
Instead of going through a bunch of loose paper or, you know,
Okay.
checking with somebody and did you send us an estimate? And
I know,
that would also impress the board of finance.
all right. That's no problem.
Okay,
There's those sort of things all the time. It's what makes them boring. But anyway, it can be clear.
Yeah.
Kathy, Joan, you have anything to add? Okay, so we'll get that list of projects that need to be done and what has been done and what has been done and has outstanding bills and what needs to be done.
And I would say that you don't have to wait until you have everything you need to complete it. If it's in the works,
Yeah,
whatever we can look at in writing, you know, gives us a picture of the money that is gonna be needed. for things.
definitely.
And it may just even come down to who can get here by that date to do the job.
That's
you need
true.
them to do.
A lot of them have been told that there's.
Okay, Rebecca, you have anything else to say about the treasurer's report?
Yeah, just, yes.
We got this. Yep.
Okay,
Think you know what to do.
Yep.
then director's report is next.
Yeah, it's on there. Just gotta scroll.
Just a quick request, those of you who are kind of farther from the camera, you're coming in and out, it's hard to hear you. If there is a possibility of speaking more loudly or directing the mic differently, that would be great.
Okay, the problem is it's a built-in mic on the laptop, so we
Right.
really can't do much about the stat, but like people can move down. Okay, where is the agenda? I went to share screen and went to tabs. Is this it?
Might be, can't really
No,
see.
that's just a Google. It's not a doc.
There we go.
That's the agenda. I'm looking for the
the
director's report.
That should be.
There we
There
go.
we go.
I know you had it up before.
Yeah. So that's weird. The mouse goes in the other direction.
Okay,
Okay. There we go.
so can everybody see the director's report? Because we can't see you guys anymore. Okay, so,
Okay, so for April, we had 913 patrons come through our doors. For Monday's meeting, Mike Alamo, the fiduciary, is coming. It's scheduled for Monday, the 15th. There's already a Zoom meeting created, and Deb was saying we need an agenda to go along with that.
I do believe it has to be listed as a special meeting,
Okay,
so I will get that.
okay.
And you've got the Zoom link that Hope made up, so you'll put that on it, so
Right.
that's great.
Yep.
Because I've got to get that to him as well.
And then just in the email, we attached the prior paperwork from when he was here the last time. So if you wanted to go over that to kind of refresh yourself, I mean, the information's going to change, but just a little update of when he was here last. And I know you guys have all seen the huge pile of mulch on the side of the road.
The one with the big sign that says "Don't take."
Yup.
2 signs in bright orange that say don't take. They were being taken.
So we're working on trying to plan a work day for hopefully anyone that is willing to give a hand so we can get this done.
Okay, I'm going to ask a stupid question. We've got a lot of mulch. Where's it going?
And the front of the building, all around the tree lines, you'll have it be where the trees are in front of the building, up on the hill. It's going to be around there. Also, there's a path in between that area and where the bench is. The whole corner will have it be filled in as well.
Okay,
Not to mention, we could, if we have enough, in front of the forsythia bushes, we can do that because that's a contention when it comes to the lawn mowing, yeah, being done there, whatever, so it would finish up nicely.
Okay, Kathy, could you hear Deb? She was at the other end of the table.
Yes, I could hear that, and I actually wanted to add something. I can't promise anything, but I'm a co-advisor of the National Honor Society at E.O. Smith, and it's possible that we have members who are still looking to get service hours for the school year and might be interested. I don't know. Again, I don't know, and like a specific time might be harder still to get them to commit to. But if you, Deb or Hope, can email me the specifics. We just got a similar request from somebody at the town office that is looking for volunteers to do some organization stuff. But if you send me that, I can pass it along, and I can, give me contact information and what specifically you need, what they need to wear or bring. I can pass that along and see if I can dredge up some volunteers for you.
That would be great.
So yeah, just email me tomorrow if you don't mind.
And it can be where anybody with any free time
Yeah.
can do this. It doesn't have to be one day, a specific time, everybody bumping into everybody, or, you can do it anyone can do it at their leisure who would like to help us out. I have one person, I'm hoping that they have like, yes, what do you call it? Like a bobcat, in wheelbarrows, but one that has a loader where they can just come up to the top of because it's a hill. And at the top, if I can get them to get there and load it to the top, we just have to spread it out to the bottom.
Right.
You know how I want it to go. So
Yeah.
there are many ways it could be done. And I'll take any and all ways as long as it gets done.
Yeah.
And the thing would be really nice
Okay.
now that we have mulch.
So yeah, just let me know. I'm trying to see who it was at Willington. The select woman's office needed envelope stuffing, filing of material. Anyway, so they just sent me an email with their contact information, what they need, how to, go about signing up, and that they would, potentially like to continue such a relationship with EO over the next few years. So if anything and everything, send me in an email, I'll pass along and try to drum up interest.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that goes along with, we did just recently have a sorority from Yukon come out, and they started, Deb stayed after hours with them, and they started working on the mulch and everything. So yeah, just like you said, whenever there's time and whenever we have the people, the manpower, and then in that respect, we just grabbed, because there is a lot of them, we just grabbed whatever we had from our home, like I brought in gloves, shovels, rakes, and then just brought it back when we were done, just to
Wheelbarrows are very important when they come.
yes.
We only have one, but
Yeah.
If I could figure out how to get a wheelbarrow into the back of my car,
Yeah.
I'd loan you one.
Can tow it.
it
It might be a little wonky, but
I can bring the kids sometime with wheelbarrow and they would.
well, you're
Oh,
on the
yeah.
road, so you gotta be careful unless you do it on this side of the tree line. I don't want you on the other side of 320, this side.
Yeah, because even if first we have people to spread it, and then like you said, when you come, then you can just, help break it out and.
What what Spencer's got for equipment?
Okay,
I could just break down the big pile into piles
Yes.
where it's closer.
okay, Rebecca's being very
People can come
quiet,
with
so
smokes.
you guys probably did not hear her say that the kids would love to come do it, and Spencer has a bobcat.
Well,
But we don't know if we can borrow it.
I'm kind of wondering about, we talked about this a little bit last year, but insurance issues for
Yeah.
volunteers, especially with equipment. I don't know how that works. I mean, I can't.
I would hazard a guess that volunteers, unless they were bringing their own equipment and signed a waiver, we couldn't have them working with the equipment.
Right.
Because,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
I don't know.
I would think that there'd be too much liability with that. So if somebody wanted to bring their own equipment and work with it, that's
Yeah.
one thing, but then they'd have to sign a waiver saying it's their equipment, they know how to use it. They're not gonna blame the library for anything. Probably nicer words than that.
I don't know if Mike has any wisdom on that. When he comes.
Yeah. Liability insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Does he deal with that?
I don't know.
More than we do, probably.
Yeah.
Who's Mike?
Yeah, that's coming on
Alima.
Monday.
Yeah.
Alima.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could certainly check with him, and if not, he would have.
I don't know, he's not a lawyer.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, but he deals with business stuff.
True.
So,
Okay, next thing on the list is our CDs.
Yep, so we just put, when we open both of them, what the interest is and the dates they mature on, and there's around 50,000 on each. We put 50,000 in and whatever they gain after that. So the CDs are all set. And then next is our potluck dinner dance. It was definitely a very successful evening. We had lots of volunteers helping to set up, take down equipment. We had the Boy Scouts out. It was really nice. Everybody come together like that.
That's what we wanted.
Yep.
Community involvement.
We were worried about the tickets, but we almost sold out of all of them, so that was great. The donation baskets that the seniors made for us raised $169.46. And our budget that we spent on this came in just under $1,500.
wasn't there some question raised in the
Sorry.
planning as to do with the,
Money from the baskets.
right,
We had talked about whether the library was going to take the money for the baskets or you were going to give it back to the senior center.
No, they wouldn't take it.
Yeah, so it is put in as a donation
They did it
from
for
us.
us.
okay, so
Yep.
it's donated to. the
Yep,
library.
it's donated to us.
Donation, and a donation.
And it's been
account,
deposited.
And it's got a special line that says where it's, what it's for, where
Yep.
it's from whom.
Okay, Kathy, did you start to say something?
No, I answered my own question in the meantime. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Did you guys send them a thank you? Or should the board send them a thank you?
We're out working on that. We have, yeah, Joan's
I
got
guess
to
I
get
did-
the
I just-
names of the lady.
Did I miss something about the two CDs? When they mature, do we have, so what happens on those dates? Are we reinvesting them or is that a discussion that remains to be had?
That's a discussion for a later date,
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
because it will depend, I'm sure, on what kind of interest they're going to give us at that point.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
all right, next is the community picnic, our kickoff for the summer reading program. It's Saturday, June 17th from 10 to 2. The library will be closed, so all the staff will be participating in the day's events.
are you going to have your popcorn machine and your cotton candy machine like last year?
No. We are going to have we're going to have ice cream. We're going to have, a bounce house combo slide. And, we're going to be, it's going to be our time for registering for summer reading program. We're going to be giving books out to, people, that day. I don't know, we could maybe do popcorn. There is electricity there.
Yeah, that,
We would, yeah, that might be something we could do. We decided watermelon's too messy.
yeah,
Yeah, something like, ice cones or cotton candy would be like, too messy kind of thing.
but the
popcorn
popcorn's
actually
not
would
a bad
work.
idea, yeah.
That would work. That's a good idea, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is Saturday, June 17th, which sounds so far away, but it's really only a month.
Or like tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
As time's
yeah.
been going.
On that question, who can we count on from the board to come and be a part of the day?
If,
Yeah.
I'm willing today even more so.
if I am in town, I will come. I don't know if I will be in town.
Ditto here. I'm almost certainly not going to be in town. I'm going to try to stick around until our meeting is over on that Wednesday. And then I think I have to go away for a week. So I will most likely not be here. I am so sorry.
No, for what week are you talking about?
Between, let's see, 15th, 15th, I might be leaving on June 15th and coming back around the 21st.
Oh, okay, so you won't be here for that. Okay, I didn't
I doubt it.
understand which one, yeah.
It's unlikely.
Okay. I cannot do much for this. I can do a little bit, and I will be at the meeting tomorrow night. I can't walk on grass and uneven ground. I'm
Yeah,
not,
no,
Tomorrow night,
What meeting?
not
not
tomorrow
even,
night,
Tuesday, next week.
Monday next
Monday.
week. We don't have a meeting tomorrow night, John.
hadn't we decided that Thursday at the 6 o'clock, we're getting together to discuss the picnic?
The
Was that-
planning meeting. Okay, okay. Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Okay,
I
sorry.
don't know meeting she's talking about.
planning meeting for the
The
picnic?
planning meeting for the picnic is Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought John was talking with you, because I thought we were still on the picnic.
can't.
Summer meeting program.
Deb says the
The planning meeting for the community picnic is Tuesday, Joan, at 6.
Okay, so I have the wrong date on here. Okay,
Monday is for the judiciary.
okay, I wanted to see if the women, but anyways, I will see you between now and then. I do hope that the board members who are not able to help out on the dance will be available to help out for this picnic. You know, it's a whole different set of let's say, activities, and it's more family oriented, which I think should be helpful for some people. And we'll see what we can do with it. Okay,
and you did so much for the dance, Joan. Feel free to relax for a little bit.
well,
Okay, so
I'm handicapped now, and I'm going to be handicapped for the next couple of weeks, really. Nothing's going to get any better. So, because I can't walk very well, you know, now I have a sprained shoulder. I can't use my arm. I think I'm going to crawl into bed with a good book, and I'll see you all about July. I think that's what's going to happen.
A good book and a bottle of wine, you should be good.
There's not enough Jim Beam in the whole world to get me through this right now.
okay, so we don't know about Joy, right?
Right.
I could come for some time, although I don't know if I have to do something else also that day, so it wouldn't be the whole day. Rebecca, are you probably more of a morning person than I am?
I can I'll probably.
We talking for the picnic? Oh, you'll have all
Yeah.
the kids will be there playing and having a good
Yeah,
time.
I assume I'll be there all day.
For that young
Yeah,
kid,
same
yeah.
thing. I'll stay there all day long.
Okay, so, well, if you're there early in the day, then at some point I will.
It's 10 to 2, right? So, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's when
Yep,
that's-
10
yeah.
to 2.
Oh, that sounds
But
better than
that's
all
not-
day.
Well,
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 I'll be there all day.
the thing is, we have to set up. and
Yeah,
get
set up
ready
and
then
take down after.
So that's more where that help is gonna be needed, but we're working on it.
Like I said, I will be there to help if I am in town, but kid is moving. And so I don't know how I'm going to help with my car, but
We will make it work.
I'm supposed to go up and take all the things that she decided she didn't want to move into the much smaller new house and bring them back here. So I don't know what weekend that is yet.
Okay. Next is the ACLB. We just had the webinar for the board basics. We just wanted to let you all know there's another webinar. This one's of the Freedom of Information. It's Wednesday, June 14th at 7. This does fall on the same day as our board meeting. So we didn't know if we wanted to change the day, do both in one day, or, I mean, the last one,
Do we know how long this presentation is?
the last one was, they said an hour and a half, but they were over in an hour.
Right.
It was, yeah, it was,
Yeah, it was.
yeah. it was pretty
However,
quick.
if we register but don't attend, or even attend for a few minutes, they do post it the very next day. So maybe the thing to do is to have our regular board meeting at that time and just watch this after the fact, once it's recorded. I assume they'll do the same thing.
You won't have a question and answer session.
True.
That's true.
Wouldn't be bad for the town and people and whatever to know what this is all about. They always are questioning us on different
Yeah.
things, and you do have to register to be able to get,
Right, so I guess it's maybe a little false and misleading, but like to register and attend and then adjourn and we have our meeting, but at least we're in the system so we can watch it once it's recorded. I don't know, just an idea, because the timing is not ideal.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
know I
pre-
cannot meet the following day. I'm almost certainly going to be away, and the previous night is E.O. Smith graduation, which I need to attend. So that week is not very flexible for me.
Well,
Yeah,
if we
I won't be there.
find time, how long this might be, projected estimate. And then if we have anything important business to deal with, like getting something done before June 30th,
and you should have that by then.
we could
Oh,
have
definitely.
a short meeting scheduled after that webinar to take care of anything that's important, if we need to put something
Okay.
off.
So we put down that we're having a regular meeting on June 14th, but the first thing on the agenda would be the FOI webinar.
I like that
Right.
idea.
Right,
Sounds
I would
good.
like to see that.
Okay,
right. But if we can possibly find out what the estimated time is on that, then we could
Yeah.
come up with a reasonably doable agenda,
We'll find out how long.
particularly if there's business, money we need to spend, things we need to approve.
and if it does seem like it's running long, as Kathy
We could
said, we
adjourn.
can always
Yeah,
get out of it
exactly.
and,
Depending on what we have to get accomplished.
Right.
In a meeting. That sounds like a
Good plan.
fair, yeah.
okay,
Good work.
Well, and if, we also don't know if anybody else in the community might be attending, and
That's what we were thinking. We wanted them to be present. for
right,
this.
and it doesn't look pretty good if, here it is, folks, and we're gonna go do our work.
Yeah.
When we have our agenda, that would be listed though, so if anybody wanted to tune in.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
right.
they can.
Right.
Right.
That might bring them into
Right.
the meeting.
okay, HVAC. Actually, who did attend the last webinar?
That's what I wanted to find out.
Okay, Joan and
That
Kathy, did
was-
either one of you attend the webinar?
Kathy was there.
Sure.
Kathy was
I
there,
was there. Yep.
What was the date of that?
Monday, a week and a half ago.
I will say they flew through, and the slides, they weren't advancing at the speed they were speaking. So I was taking notes, but I'm going to have to go back and read what they posted. It was very, very brisk.
So
Yeah,
It
I do
was.
agree with that.
It was. So today's the,
Oh, we did that from home. We were
Yes.
Zooming that. That's why I'm not
Each
having.
person
Yeah,
got to do it.
yeah, and I did
themselves.
that, and I
May
was
1st?
taking notes, and then I realized they had.
no,
all
that
the-
would be
all the-
finals. We
all
must
the
have been the week
things
before
posted.
that, April something.
I always,
Let's
anyway,
do
just
last
figure
Monday.
I can figure it out.
Exactly.
No, that was
So then
Friday.
we just don't know for sure.
Maybe it was. Yeah, just
No, it wouldn't be, we wouldn't have been May 1st because that was finals week and I was,
That was my birthday.
Did
I
you?
didn't do that.
happy birthday.
Yeah, I didn't do that for my birthday, so.
Joan, did you get a chance to go to watch it?
For basics.
You guys there?
There. I have to
Or
use,
to me.
I have to use my left hand for everything. Trying to run a mouse with the left hand, that's not working well tonight. But anyways, no, I haven't seen the webinar yet. No, I can get it online, can I?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You can.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yes, and there's a lot of handouts that, well, things they had that you'll look at them. I mean, it's very visual.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we thought about that and if it was helpful.
Okay. So most of us managed to make it, so that's
Did you
good.
learn? Was it helpful? Was it informative for you guys? Was it worth
Yes.
your time?
Actually, yes.
Well, if we get an accurate thing, then we should probably just do minutes in absentia or whatever, just, who attended that on the Zoom, just to have it in the record.
I think it was, there was a couple of things I think got cleared up.
I can't hear you, Deb.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I said, I thought it was really good. I know they said some things that, and guys, and as far as thinking of the board members, I thought cleared up a few things, which I was glad to, hear.
One thing, I mean, one limitation of it, which I doubt will be the same thing with FOI though, is they were frequently like, if your town does it this way, here's what applies. But if your town has this system, here's the way it works. And I kept thinking, which way is my town? Like, I guess I need to review that and make it correspond with what our town's system is. Because there are variations in how boards operate.
And ours is
Unique.
unique.
Just
Thank
so
you,
know,
that's a nice word.
We're an association library. We're a public library. We're an association.
Right,
library,
right.
which that
I don't even think they mentioned that.
varies also,
Mhm.
and how, well, every library is different in how it's.
But they mentioned, libraries that were run by the town.
Yep.
And we're not run by the
No.
town. We are independent. And so,
We have a lot of different factors. in
yeah.
I especially like that when the board as a whole decides and makes a decision and decides on something, that they are supposed to stand by it and not constantly bring it up and
Yeah,
try
after
to
the
change.
decision's made.
And that's always been one issue is with having co-directors or whatever. So it is a democracy and the majority does rule, and it should then be a dead issue. It shouldn't keep coming up over and over and over and over again.
Okay, where the heck did we find this?
HVAC. Are we?
Yes, we're on to HVAC.
And this
As soon
is,
as I can
this here's
find-
for your list.
Yes,
Part of this is
definitely.
already, is already.
Okay, where did we
Exactly.
find this?
Okay, that's what we do that normally.
I'm very visual, so if,
Oh,
you know,
okay, that's why I
I
couldn't
can
find it.
hear
It's
it.
under
Yeah.
so That it may escape.
Yeah, that's, but I'm,
I can
I gotta
picture
write
it.
everything down.
There we go.
I think we do that.
Okay, so HVAC, one of the heating unit that was flooding is one of the two that's in the basement, right? In
Correct.
the unfinished part of the basement.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
it has it.
so that
Okay,
got
you're gonna,
fixed.
so you're gonna get quotes from this one Actionair people.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so let's start at the top. So the one that was flooding in the unfinished part of the basement has been fixed,
Mhm.
okay? HVAC equipment is in need of replacement. At least two, if not more, one on the roof and one outside need to be replaced, if not all of them.
It would be all of them.
Yeah, he's talking about
That's
both,
just-
might as
yeah,
well,
it's
because
just-
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're gonna do two, they're
That's
all
what
the
he's-
same age, you should probably do
That's
all
what
of
he
them.
Well,
said.
they all have the same issue. They just, it's, the equipment is getting old and frail.
And then we asked him, because we asked him, this came up because we asked about cleaning the ones outside, and he said he doesn't want to risk it, because if he goes in to clean, he could move
do
some
more
stuff
damage,
and it
breaking
could do
stuff.
more damage. And we asked him, like, because we've talked about a fence before, or how we can maintain it better, and he said, honestly, just keep up with the yearly maintenance and you won't not have most of these issues, which hasn't been done before. So it'd also be nice to have like a fresh start and have that maintenance and schedule and,
So he doesn't think we need the fence and the roof over it like we talked about?
no, he
before?
said, if you
It might have kept.
if
up
you
the
wanted,
score.
yeah, if you wanted a
Damage
fence, it
stuff.
might be beneficial, but he doesn't see,
The money that would.
yeah, he doesn't see it as worth it. He said, just the yearly maintenance and it should take care of itself. And then he talked about too, like, cause remember when we were talking about, oh, we thought they'd last forever. And he's like, even if it was well maintained, they only have a life expect of 10 to 15 years. So to keep that in mind as well.
And the building's
That's a
16
broad
years
range,
old.
10 and 15.
I thought you said 10 to 12, so I thought.
Oh, yeah, you could be right, 10 to 12, but he even
He already
said,
said we're getting
Yep.
more out of it than what, he said,
Yeah.
that's when he said that if you have an extended life right now, he said.
it could last for 5 more years,
he
or
said
it could
it's
shut
already
down
lasted
tomorrow,
a good
yeah.
Amount of time for how long we've had it.
And is there a yearly maintenance cost that needs to be built into
Yeah.
the
Yes.
schedule and
We
warranty?
got that,
and-
yep,
Yep,
we're doing it. And things like, it's in the back of the building, and so you're dealing with moss growing,
yeah,
so.
the
you
shade.
know,
Oh, the
that's
moss on
something-
those are really pretty. mess it's covered
You
in.
should
And
see
two,
the
he said, like,
net.
he said, even when people are mowing the lawn, he said, get the people to direct the grass to go the other direction. When they come around, he noticed that, the way the grass, lay
Yeah, so it was blowing into the unit instead of,
Away
taking the
from it.
precautions.
So he said, things like that, you can, so we could physically go out and.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the moss away and tell them to please don't blow the debris, grass.
Yeah, don't
little
have
things.
blow it that way, or if you must insist, then here are covers you could put on it when you're gonna do it, and
Exactly.
then remove them.
So there are
Okay.
things to do to prolong its life even longer, but he's saying you got a lot out of it.
Okay, so that's one of the things that's gonna be on the list that you're gonna get to us.
Correct.
And all of the plumbing issues have been fixed, and you are just gonna get us a list of what was fixed and how much it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what we
What
do with everybody that we do business with, if you guys haven't noticed already, this will be maybe more for Elaine's ears and whatever. We do make sure that before they start things, that they do tell us what's involved. And even with, after they've done the work, we have pages.
Whole
long
write-up, yeah.
that we ask for the details. One, because it's easier that way than having to explain it to you what they did. When you're hearing it, you're right. Hearing it, say, okay, put it down on paper so that, you remember
Yep.
and know correctly. So they all are doing that, and they've been doing it and they will continue because we always make sure that that is brought into the conversation beforehand.
Now, I had heard the 3 faucets were broken. Are those fixed?
Yeah, this one is, we need the
For
parts
those,
the other
for
two.
those who can't see Deb pointing, the one right outside the conference room here has been fixed.
Yep.
Thank you. And we are waiting for the pieces.
Okay, but this says all have been addressed
Yes,
and fixed. So 1's fixed and 2 are,
in the process of being fixed. Oh, where does it say that?
Under
Plumber.
plumber.
Okay,
okay, 1,
and
it's been addressed, 1 is fixed,
One
is
fixed, 2 in process,
2
yes.
are awaiting.
Yep.
one repaired, 2 in process. Now, also what was done that had never gotten done, which we really lucked out with, and I think we lucked out with it being in such good shape because Vienna Water takes care of our water system and we put the salt in it all the time. But and again, this has never been done. He flushed out, which he recommends doing once a year, but let me finish the story. So there is in the utility room where we have our water system and we have the sewer system, there is an electric panel,
Mhm.
heating panel that is supposed to get flushed out, they call it, once a year. Because mineral deposits and stuff
Mhm.
can attach to it and whatever, and then it breaks down things and eats at things. It looked brand new when you opened it up and showed us. And he did run through, and yes, it was dirty and, but no issues, kind of a thing. And thinking that it's probably because we have maintained the water system, really well and continuously. And so instead of now us having to do that once a year, which he recommended the first time, he told us that, it should be done. Did it get done? We can go a little further. We can maybe do 2-3 years, It still has to get taken care of, but it was in really great shape.
That's nice to know something was in good shape.
Yeah, definitely. He said for as
No,
long as
really, he
it's
said for
done,
as
it
long as
looks
it's
good.
done,
Yeah.
It's like, so.
And then Deb too, when we talked about adding them together,
Oh, with the,
yes, yes.
clearing out the drain at the site entrance to where the parking lot is. He recommended that when he did it last year, that should be done yearly, because you get the lead and the debris and stuff, and it does. So we were waiting to hear what he said about because it's one company, it would be cheaper if he did 2
Yes.
things at once and coming back 2 separate times. But now we can buy time with one, but we'll still need to do that. But it's like the cost is like to come out and interview that is like $100, she said it would be, versus that was 300, could be 4.
Mhm.
So that we, again, a good thing.
Yeah, just, again, needs to be on the list,
Yep.
you know,
Oh, yeah,
the
they gotta
yearly
round
and
it up,
whatever.
yeah.
Now, as far as the board basics,
Your
Kathy
Zoom
did
is
it.
broken.
Deb and Hope both did it, right?
Right.
Okay, so what do we need to know? Is Joy, is that all I'm missing?
Well, Joan says
Joan said she could, but
she will watch the
Joan's
video.
going to.
Yep.
Joan will.
So just Joy.
And, okay, so, do I have a way to contact Joy?
do it right now.
Oh, okay. If she could just let me know, I'll do up like a minutes thing,
Yeah,
just to add to our,
yeah, I don't know if Joy will respond. Like I said, she.
all right, well, whenever, I don't need
They
it
had an
today.
emergency client meeting that she figured.
Oh, I don't need it, I don't need it today.
That's okay, I got a text.
At her
Yeah.
convenience.
Okay, Deb's gonna text before she forgets.
Well, right now, because I got 1,000 things still that I could put on the bottom of my list that won't get taken care of. So,
Okay, so new employees.
Yeah, we have 3 new hires. They're all on payroll as of our next payroll. We've hired Steve, who was our intern. He's now the new programmer. We've hired Bill. He's our custodian, and he is doing a remarkable job. We've had so many compliments on the building. He's hitting areas we didn't even think.
Oh,
He's
he's just,
the perfect person for
if
the
he
job.
sees it, if
He's
it's,
doing it.
what he sees, he cleans. If it's,
Yep.
he cleans it. He did the whole surfacing of the front of our building. All the doors, the
Door, window,
windows, to
everything.
the ceiling, it sparkles. You just, it stands out. It's so clean, so clear, so bright. I mean, and he's doing that with everything. He's actually done some repairs. We hired him to be the custodian as far as cleaning goes, but he actually used to have his own construction company. He fixed the toilet, he replaced the 4 panels in the children's.
The drop ceiling that needed to be replaced 2
What,
years
the
ago.
Yep.
bathroom area.
Did it in 5 minutes.
Years it's been waiting to be done. He's just spot on. He's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
wonderful. Well worth the wait and all the, we got a good guy.
And last, we have Debbie, who we hired as our new page. So we have another Debbie, and she has her set 9 hours a week. So we have a second person. We put her on Mondays from 2 to 5 with Miss Kathy. So Miss Kathy, because she does the bookstore and all that, she has some freedom. And we have a spot where there's 2 people on. We thought that was the most appropriate time. And we've given her Fridays, the whole day, the 9 to 3.
And the thing of raising was that we needed a floater. We needed someone, so
Right.
if somebody called out sick, somebody wanted to be on vacation, she would be able to work morning, noon, or night. She covered for Andrea was sick
Yeah,
today.
Andrea called
And
in
she
sick
came in.
yesterday. She came in, so
You know,
she's
so she
already,
worked morning, noon,
Yeah,
or night.
it's
She has
very
that
nice.
flexibility. We have a set schedule, minimum hours, but yet, and those hours are great, have great help.
Are they flexible, or, because
Yeah.
if she's covering for somebody else, is she not be able to come in on her assigned day?
Nope, she's got that covered. It would be something in addition, and it won't be.
yeah, she'd
additional
always
cost
be
to
the addition.
Yep.
So
she's
if
got
it was
set
just her,
hours.
it would be one of us or another staff with her, so we would never be in need where her position's concerned.
I'm just
And
curious.
right
every-
now, because the end of the budget and we didn't hire that programmer and there's money in the line, they're putting in more hours than on the next budget because the money's there right now. So that,
And the need is for.
exactly.
That was where my question was. Where is their
Okay,
salary
I
coming from?
asked this when I was in, but have you heard anything? We've done well with interns the last 2 summers. Have you heard from the college about getting an intern this summer?
No, we wouldn't get that until.
Yeah, not
toward-
yet.
Towards fall, if anything. would
Yeah, because
happen.
now the spring one just ended, so yeah, it would be
Yeah,
more
like
towards
they
the
would let
fall.
us know in the fall, that's,
So they don't have them over the summer?
no.
They might, and they could, but we
Yeah,
haven't,
we've
yeah.
never
Okay.
encountered that.
We get the most
Okay.
people in fall and then the spring season, yeah.
Okay, because we've done
Okay.
well with our interns.
Oh,
And my
definitely.
question is, so,
And that was, believe it or not, I simply cold called the college and said, you want to put us on our list?
can I ask a question?
Okay,
And then, yeah, and so then next, just, we
Hello?
wanted to get this
Can you
on
guys
here,
hear
the
me?
budget cuts that we've made. They put us down to 5%, so we had to cut around $40,000 out of our budget. So these.
Out of the budget request.
But yes, correct, out of the budget request. So on the director's report, you can see what the final numbers are. The number first is the request. It wasn't last year's number. The first number is what we requested before we got knocked down. And then just the difference. And we can certainly go over it one by one. We did kind of take away from the utilities. I know we talked about last time, taking away from there instead of more our payroll, so we can see where it goes under. And we looked at where we're at right now with numbers too, so brought them down closer. I mean, they might go under a little bit, but
and you dropped building repair
Well, it
quite a
comes
bit, but that's
Yeah.
because everything should be done before then, right?
Well, we had other things planned for next year, but they said put it on and then they wouldn't support, so, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, we talked about pulling some of that money out of our
Mhm.
account.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we figured too. The same thing with like staff hardware stuff, so staff hardware and patron hardware. We put in for the hotspots, but again, we have that grant that's still halfway through where we could get equipment like switches to improve our Wi-Fi. So we cut there to take the chance that we'd be okay there. So we didn't really mess with payroll too much. We adjusted it like the assistant two programmer, this is what we were told that he could give us. So we know it's not going to be that much. So that's why. Same thing with the page. We asked for 24 so we can get another person as that second person. But we have Deb, so that's why a lot of that came out of the page too.
Are you
So,
guys
because it went from
seeing,
24 hours to 9.
That's a big difference.
Yep.
So
is
that-
anybody
that's a
seeing
big
my
help.
But it's
comments?
still, yeah, it's still a help to us that we have at least that little time where it's 2 people.
Is anybody hearing me or
And then,
seeing?
yeah, just the reminders, Deb signed all the board members up for the e-blast. So just keep a lookout for your emails. That's where we send all the information about the library.
Do we need to vote on the changes or?
Yeah.
Should we review them and then vote on them or?
Yeah, because the town needs them to put in their payroll for the next year.
I don't
so-
know how anybody else feels. I would rather wait, review all of this compared to this instead of trying to go through it all tonight since it's already 8:15 and vote on it at the next meeting, which will still be prior to the next meeting will be.
Donna wanted this.
Like ASAP, yeah. And they said we can always like
Can we put it on Monday?
change
No,
the
could we, like,
numbers.
do an email chain, like if everybody reads, just kind of like get,
Yeah, because
Well-
this is
oh, but you gotta vote. No,
important.
Is there anything that is,
I don't know if it's 1 week,
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know. She wanted it like, yeah.
I mean, what's the most, what is the most significant things and what are the things, you tell us, what are the things that might have an effect on the functioning or the services of the library? In other words, are there changes we would need to expect because of these cuts?
yeah, so if we just go down the line really quickly, we took out the $500 for unemployment. In the past, we have had that line used by past employees. That's a chance we're gonna have to take coming into this next year. We haven't used it in a couple years. The next line, that money that's in there, the 700, that is for our Mr. Navarto. He does our taxes. It was just over 6 this year, so we raised it a little just because it was more pricey inflation. And then, so we took off for the legal and professional fees. We've had to use a lawyer in the past, but so that might be affected if that was something we needed. Office supplies, we put in for a new printer. We took out the 2,000, that was the new printer. Our printers are still running.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Slow down. What line are we on? There we are. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to follow the lines. Okay, I'm good now.
Yes, so office supplies, we took out the cost, basically that's what we added for that new printer. So, worst case, we do.
We're just stretching it.
Exactly.
Okay, or that could be on the list for by June 30th, if.
Well,
God,
That
so
is
good.
very
Oh,
true.
okay. 'Cause it
That is
still-
very,
That's
very
why I'm
true.
saying, if you have a
You're right,
list, you
you're
can
right.
just go right to the list and say, okay, bingo,
A
here's an extra
100%.
$2,000, this is what we could do with it.
Love that. Okay, yeah, that would be great. Okay, so then there's that. The staff hardware, usually we put in case we've needed in the past, like computers or extra equipment. We did last year just have Novus out that redid our computers. So we're in the middle of the FTTL grant, which would possibly give us access to switches to improve our Wi-Fi and things we wouldn't necessarily have to pay for. So I just kept in the price of the hotspots to renew them because patrons love them. And I just raised it a little because it was like $780. So I put in an extra 20, took the rest out of that line. So if we need a piece of equipment, boom. Trash removal, we did without it this year. We're gonna have to do without it next year. Building maintenance, that is just a small change because we needed to get to the 54. So that's just $6. That's nothing. The building repair, they told us to put money in our budget for that. They cut us, so we cut the money. We left 500 because we wanted to keep the line open and in case there is something, and obviously we go over the line, but at least we know when the line.
Was
will
that
stay
an
open.
estimate, the 11.5, or
Yeah.
is there stuff, a task
We did-
list?
Yeah, we did have things attached to that, but we're not obviously gonna be doing that.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but
again.
the list, yep,
Again, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
exactly. And then telephone, we looked at our current bill because we went to Frontier earlier in the year. We got a lower rate. So right now our bill, we're like maybe 1,000 with 2 months left. The bill's only the most it'd be is like 160. We're not going to go near that. So that's why we cut 1,000 for next year.
Kathy needs back in.
Oh,
Okay. I'm trying. There we are. Sorry, not my computer. Okay. Sorry, it took me a little bit, Kathy, to find the right button.
Well, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know what to do about that. Kathy says she can't hear us.
No. I'm
No, Kathy
speaking.
can hear you.
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
Kathy.
You
Did I
can't
mute-
hear
did I mute?
me.
Did I mute people?
Yep.
Doesn't show that they're muted.
Can you message them that we're going over the change list?
But listen.
I don't,
And we're gonna wanna
Is there a
vote on
chat?
this.
Is there a chat thing?
yeah.
okay.
Never mind. I don't know why you can't hear me. I can hear you. I put things in the chat. Nobody's reading them.
Yeah,
Nobody's
she's
reading
not
the
muted
email.
from my end.
I didn't get the chat.
I chatted 4 things. Nobody's paying any
It doesn't
attention.
say we're muted.
No, no.
If we're gonna do it on Zoom, we have to do Zoom appropriately.
No, we
We
can't
have to
hear
know
her.
how to
Hear me?
use
And she's
Zoom.
frustrated, obviously.
Can Joan hear us?
Kathy.
Joan, can
Kathy,
you hear us?
I can hear you, yes,
Okay.
but
yeah,
you
she
can't
can
hear
hear
me
us.
because you muted me.
Okay, Kathy, I haven't
I don't know.
had, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I have to do this for the chat.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't say.
Yeah,
doesn't say.
I'm
I
not
had
muted.
this crap.
You muted me.
And I don't feel any of the meetings are public, when only people who have computers in their homes can participate.
Okay, I don't,
That it's not a public meeting.
I had forgotten to push the chat button.
And
And Kathy does have some
Where's the
questions.
volume control on here?
If somebody
Okay.
can't. come
It's
to
all
the
the way
meeting,
up.
I don't have a problem with them zooming it, but I think the format really is people face making decisions.
Exactly.
And you're mostly cutting out the older population. So we're trying to keep them connected. They can't be connected. Well, I'm gonna take this chance.
Hopefully we're about wrapped up anyway.
We're close.
Well, yeah, we got the sound director's report, got present to speak, Arthur Curtis. We just shared the, okay, it's done. Thank you, sir. Present to speak. And you just don't have to tell things like you understand.
Can you hear me now?
We don't need that, we never are in this, the best of circumstances. And I gotta get all the stuff ready for, tomorrow night. Or something too, it can't tell me how many policies and procedures, different versions I've come across.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
gosh.
Joan coming tomorrow?
I don't think so, I don't think she knows about it.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
No,
I remembered it. I've actually have to throw mine back on now because I have bad memory.
I know, I gotta get it together, I got.
Okay, Kathy, are you still muted from your end?
No, it is on your end.
Because from my end, it shows both you and Joan open. It doesn't show you muted.
But I'm not muted. It's you.
It's 7, we're just gonna do, so it's not overwhelming, there's 52 or 53 pages,
Okay.
just on that, so it's gonna be just an hour with a lesson, depending on when it gets home.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I know, I can hear you too. I
Okay,
didn't, no, I didn't know if they
I
could
don't
hear
know
me.
if Mary Pat just got larger on the screen because Mary Pat's trying to say something, but apparently we're no longer picking anybody up.
I can hear Mary Pat.
It all says they're unmuted and we're not hearing anybody.
Read the damn Zoom.
I
Read
asked
the
and Joan
chat.
nodded and Kathy went like this, so apparently they can hear us,
Yes.
We can't hear them.
but we can't hear them. But Kathy asked me to unmute her, but according to
Yeah, it's
this screen, she's
unmuted.
unmuted.
If they were hearing us and know where the button's been pushed.
Yeah, no one touched anything.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear
Can you
Joan.
hear anything?
It was.
I can hear Mary
Yeah,
Pat.
it was,
Mary.
Elaine's locked out.
Mary Pat's right. She says to read the chat. Can you hear that?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, can they hear, it says they can hear Joan and hear Mary Pat.
We can hear each other.
They can
But
hear
they
each
can't
other,
hear
but
us.
it's on our end, but I don't know.
Mhm.
Karen, you can't hear us? Do you know how many people in the world would love to have me If they knew about this, they'd be in their glory.
Poor Kathy. She's so stressed.
Sorry, but it's,
Is there something she needs to say to us?
Well, you guys are figuring out that stuff. This is what the lawn sign doesn't look like. We have 2 big ones and then 4 of the regular. Does anybody want to help without wires again?
You tell me where.
Right? Then I gotta put up fires.
Yeah, we should, I mean,
I have one at the town hall that I had the day that we did voting. That's a good time to do it.
yeah.
I gotta get everybody, all the other.
Well, give me a couple, and like I said, now relative, since there's a lull in the action here,
But let me know.
I am going Saturday to that breakfast. So if there's, a thank you or something, I'd be happy